Hi everyone, welcome to our video lesson on Chapter 4, Section 2 today. We're studying angles of triangles. Take a look at this first slide, the triangle sum theorem, an extremely important concept, maybe one that you've had before, but in a triangle, of course, there's three angles. In this triangle right here, angle A, angle B, and angle C. If we take a look at this triangle, again I have triangle ABC, so with these three angles, right now the angles are 30 degrees, 78 degrees, and 72 degrees. What do you notice about the sum of all those angles? If you add up those three, what number do you get? 78 plus 72 is 150, and 150 plus 30 is 180. So the sum of those angles is 180 degrees. What happens if I change these angles a little bit? Now what do you notice about the sum? 150 is angle B, 17 degrees is angle C, 13 degrees is angle A. If we add up those three, 17 plus 13 is 30, 30 plus 150 is 180. No matter what I do, class, to these angles, I could change them all I want to, but you're always going to get a sum of 180 degrees. All three angles in a triangle, when you add them together, it equals 180 degrees. So that's the first thing I want you to write down in your notes here. The triangle angle sum theorem is if we take the three angles, so here is our math symbols, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C. When you add the three angles together, it equals 180 degrees, which is what this says right here. The sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Please write that down in your notes. That is a extremely important concept. On this one, the third angle theorem, so just in the if-then form of these conditional statements, if the green is true, then the red is true. If two angles of one triangle are congruent to the two angles of a second triangle, then, let's just discover this for a second. Let's say this is, just for the sake of easy numbers, let's say this is 40 degrees, and let's say this is 60 degrees. Well, if this one in the bottom left is 40 degrees, it has one arc, and this has one arc, then this has to be 40 degrees. This one has two arcs. If it's 60 degrees, then this one is 60 degrees. Now, if there's 180 degrees in a triangle, we could say 40 plus 60 plus the other angle, we'll call this angle X for now, that has to equal 180 degrees, right? So 40 plus 60 is 100. 100 plus x equals 180, so x has to equal 80 degrees. Well, if x has to equal 80 degrees, what does this third angle have to be in this triangle? Well, it obviously has to equal 80 degrees as well, right? Because in this triangle, there also has to be 180 degrees. So if two angles in one triangle are congruent to two angles in another triangle, then the third angle has to be congruent to the other third angle. And that's what this is saying right here. The third angles of the triangles are congruent. So if two angles are the same in one as the same as the other, then the third angle has to be congruent. Let's just take a look at this one. Knowing that there has to be a sum of 180 degrees in a triangle, what do you know about the acute angles in a right triangle? Well, if this is 90 and there's 180 degrees in a triangle, well, if you subtract this 90 degree angle right here, that means there's 90 degrees left. So we don't know what angle 1 and angle 2 are, but we know that together they have to add up to equal 90 degrees. They are complementary angles. Angle 1 might be 50, angle 2 might be 40. Angle 1 might be 30, angle 2 might be 60. We don't exactly know what the angles are, but we do know that when we add them up, they have to equal 90 degrees, or they are complementary. Here we have the remote interior angles of the exterior angle. If we think about this one for a moment, notice angle A is 31 degrees and angle B is 117 degrees. And then this remote exterior, the exterior angle is 148 degrees. That's what happens when you add up 117 plus 31 to get the 148. Notice if I have these two triangles in there, If I move them to the exterior angle, it's the sum of those two. You kind of see that? So if I add up 31 plus 117, it moves to the exterior angle, and it's always the sum of those two. So to define these terms here, the remote interior angles, here's the exterior angle. It's formed when you extend one of the sides of the triangle. So here is the exterior angle. Now, the way I kind of look at this is the supplement of the exterior angle is this one, right? They form a linear pair. So the remote interior angles are the other two angles in a triangle that is not the one that forms a linear pair. This angle then and this angle are the remote interior angles. So if we kind of come down to this one here, this red starred angle, this is the vertical angle, so it's not the exterior angle. The purple star, this is the exterior angle. It's formed when one of the sides of the triangle is extended and the other side of the angle is a side of the triangle. So the purple star is the exterior angle, not the red one. That's the vertical angle. Take a look at this one. Again, the red starred, people kind of get confused with this. The red starred, that angle is not an exterior angle. The exterior angle, it does have one side of the triangle as being a side of the angle, but the other side has to be an extension of one of the sides. So this right here would be an exterior angle, but not the red starred angle. So just be careful with that. So the exterior angle theorem says that if we add up angle 1 plus angle 2, it equals the measure of the exterior angle, which is angle 4. Angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 4. And let's just break this down for a moment. I think it'd be beneficial. Let's again use some simple numbers just so we could get a view of what this looks like. Let's say angle 2 is 100 degrees. It looks obtuse, we'll call it 100 degrees. Let's say angle 1 is 30 degrees, right? Well, we would then know that this angle, there has to be 180 degrees in a triangle. So if we have 130 between angle 1 and angle 2, that means this angle has to be 50 degrees because there has to be 180 degrees in a triangle. So 100 plus 50 is 150 plus 30 is 180. And now this 50 degree angle and angle 4 form a linear pair, or it makes a line. So a line is 180 degrees. So if we take 180 minus 50, we would get 130 degrees. Angle 4 has to be 130. And we could also get that in a simpler way by using this exterior angle theorem, which says angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 4. It equals the exterior angle. 100 plus 30 equals 130. So we'll be using that a couple times today as well. All right. Find the measures of the numbered angles. So we have to find the measure of angle 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe we'll just write that down over here. Angle 1, angle 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, angle 1 is an exterior angle, and these two are the remote interior angles. So I could just add these two together. So angle 1 is the exterior angle for the remote interior angles of 32 plus 38. So if I add those two angles together, I get 70 degrees. There is the measure of angle 1. There is several ways that you could find the answers to all of these angles, class, so I'm not saying that my way is the only way. I mean, if you wanted to, you could say, here's a triangle. It has 180 degrees. So if we add these two, we get 70. And if we take 180 minus 70, we get 110. So you could say this angle equals 110, and then you could go from there and say angle 1 is the linear pair, so these two form a line of 180 degrees, so angle 1 has to be 70. So there's several different ways that you could do this. Now, knowing those two angles, angle 2 is the vertical angle to this 110, so angle 2 has to be 110 degrees. Or you could say angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. So if angle 1 is 70 degrees, then angle 2 is supplementary to angle 1, which means it has to equal 110 degrees. So there's the measure of angle 2, it's 110 degrees. Now, this angle, we don't need to know it for our answer, but it's beneficial to know so we can get the measure of angle 3. Again, 1 and the angle that I just drew right here are vertical. Vertical angles are congruent, so that means this angle has to be 70. It also forms a linear pair with angle 2, which is 110. So those two are supplementary, which means they have to add up to equal 180. So then this angle is 70. Hoofta. Now, we have a triangle right here, do we not? Yes, we do. So that means these three angles have to add up to equal 180 degrees. So 70 plus 64 plus the measure of angle 3 has to equal 180 degrees. So 70 plus 64 is 134 plus the measure of angle 3 has to equal 180 degrees. So when we subtract 134 from 180, we get angle 3 to equal 46 degrees. Angle 3 is 46 degrees. All right, we're getting there. Angle 4 and angle 5, again, class, there are several different ways that you can do this. I'm not sure which way is most comfortable for you, but I guess I see two different ways to find the measure of angle 4. Angle 4 is the exterior angle. If I could draw this triangle right here. See that red triangle that I just drew? It is the exterior angle of the remote interior angles of 64 and 38. So you could add up 64 plus 38, and that equals the exterior angle, which is angle 4. So if we add up 64 and 38, we get 102 degrees. So angle 4 equals 102 degrees. Another way that I see this one, if you didn't see that exterior angle theorem, I would also say that 32 plus 46 plus angle 4, those three angles together make a line. And a line is 180 degrees. So you could take 180, and if you subtracted 46 plus 32, you'd also get the answer of 102 degrees. 46 plus 32 is 78, and if you take 180 minus 78, you would get 102 degrees. So that's another way that you could solve this one. If these three angles add up to equal 180, take 180 and subtract the 32 and the 46, and you would get angle 4 of 102 degrees. All right, almost done with this problem. Now, I would say it's hopefully clear that this is a triangle, this green triangle that I just sketched out right here. And these three angles have to add up to equal 180 degrees. So angle 5 plus the 102 plus the 41, when you add those three, it has to equal 180 degrees. So angle 5 plus 143 has to equal 180. So if we take 180 and subtract 143, we get angle 5 to be 37 degrees. Angle 5 is 37. So you kind of have to really walk your way around the triangles. One solution helps you find the other solution, which helps you go on to angle 2, 3, 4, and 5, of course. Last one for the day. We know that in a triangle, there are a sum of 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C has to add up to equal 180 degrees. So if I know that, I kind of see a bunch of expressions up here, but I know that when we add angle A plus angle B plus angle C, it has to equal 180 degrees. That's the triangle angle theorem. Triangle angle sum theorem. So angle A happens to be 3x plus 8. Angle B is 4x plus 9. Angle C is 8x minus 12. When we add those three angles together, it equals 180 degrees. Let's do this thing. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. So 15x 8 and 9 make 17, and 17 minus 12 is 5. 15x plus 5, that equals 180 degrees. So, I subtract 5 from both sides, and I get 15x to equal 175. As I look at my notes here, class, I think I owe you an apology. This is not 8x minus 12. This one is 8x minus 2, isn't it? Sorry about that. 8x minus 2. So this one's 8x minus 2. So it's 15x plus 15. Sorry about that. So now when we subtract 15, we would get 165. There we go. So 15x equals 165. We divide both sides by 15, and we get x to equal 11. So x equals 11. Let's see what we want to find for this problem. It says find the measure of each angle of the triangle. Well, angle A is 3x plus 8. And x is 11. So we take 3 times 11 and get 33. And 33 plus 8 is 41 degrees. There's the measure of angle A. Now we want to find the measure of angle B. Angle B is 4x plus 9. 4 times x plus 9, and x again is 11. So 4 times 11 is 44, plus 9 is 53. 53 degrees is the measure of angle B. Last one, angle C. Angle C is 8x minus 2. 8 times x minus 2, and once again x is 11. So 8 times 11 is 88, and 88 minus 2 is 86. There's the measure of angle C. Class, what do you think 86 plus 53 plus 41 is? The sum of the measures of the three angles in a triangle must equal 180 degrees. So you could always check your work. If you add up 86 plus 53 plus 41, it equals 180. Very important concept today. Let me know if you have any questions when you get to class tomorrow.